Hello again, it's the Ohio Ram Show coming to you from Southwest Ohio with a guest who is in California at the moment, Justin Too. He's going to be with us here in just a little bit, but first of all, a word from our sponsors, as they say, that being the two Race Across America time stations here in Southwest Ohio, the Oxford time station and Blanchester. I'm not going to give them numbers because sure as I do, when the 2015 race data comes out, there'll be some change in time station numbering, and it's happened before. So, but they're not the first two time stations in Ohio. We're also the place in Ohio where you see all the signs that Mike Minium puts up to guide you through some of the tricky turns that you run into here from eastern Indiana through western Ohio. And we're happy to have another edition of the Ohio Ram Show. I believe this is show number 56 coming up. And we have with us today Justin Too. Hello, Justin. How are you doing?
Hey there, Lee. I'm doing really well over here in sunny California.
Well, it's cloudy and stormy and humid and hot. And I just turned a fan on back here because I have to close the door, else I'll be visited by my dog. And so I might be visited anyhow. Sometimes he doesn't like a closed door, but then that cuts off the air conditioning back in here a little bit, so it does get a little sticky. But fall is upon us, and we'll see changes in that. And while we're talking about it, I just want to say that my name is Lee Kreider. I do host the show. I was just telling Justin we're starting our third season, I guess I should say, and I believe this is going to be show number 56. We'll see how that turns out when we get everything loaded and up with you. Justin, you're going to be racing, you're registered to race Ram in 2015 as a male solo under 50. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I actually just registered 2 Sundays ago now and made that commitment. That was the deadline for the early registration. And so I'm registered, and I'm still debating whether I'm going to be riding for the USA or South Africa, as I'm originally from South Africa, in fact.
Well, tell me a little about yourself then. I would like to get better acquainted with you, Justin, as to...
Yeah, Lee. So, like I said, originally from South Africa, born there, moved to America in 1998 with my mom, dad, and elder brother. And we've been living here in the San Francisco Bay Area now since then, so quite a while. And, well, went to school here and ended up going to college at the University of California at Davis, up north near Sacramento. And I studied computer science, currently working at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in Livermore, California, and I'm a software engineer there. So when I'm not on the bicycle, I'm programming away on my computer.
Well, I see a lot of tech gear behind you there. It looks like you're well equipped.
Oh, definitely prepared.
So you're still well. As I said before we went on the air, Justin, I don't want to influence you one way or another, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have a South African rider in the race flying that flag. We've had a woman, Michelle, whose last name I almost think I know, but I'm not going to try it on air here with you. But yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. But so tell me, you've been in the endurance cycling or ultra cycling. Did you jump right into that, or did you come into it through other routes? Tell me about your background into cycling.
Oh yeah, Lee. I'll start by just saying it's all my brother's fault. I blame it all on him. The reason I'm doing RAM is it's because of him. My brother's name is Brandon, and I actually started in ultra cycling when I was in college at UC Davis, and this was actually 2014 is my 4th year of ultra distance cycling. And how it all started was before I went out to college, my brother was already attending UC Davis, and he started getting involved with cycling with just some of his friends, and they would bike around UC Davis, which is a great community of cyclists. They have great teams at the university and a good thriving community of bicyclists. And by the time I arrived there, my brother was interested in joining the UC Davis triathlon team. And so in my first semester, my first quarter there, I had a little stint with the triathlon team, and that's when I started getting into bicycling. Had never done any bicycling before that, and really enjoyed it, you know, riding out there in the Davis area. And so I was riding my bicycle for about a year, and this was back in 2008. And then school kind of ramped up, and I was really focused on graduating there. And I actually completed my studies there in 2 years. And in 2010, I started my career at Lawrence Livermore National Lab. And that first year still wasn't really doing a whole lot, really focused on starting my career. But then, you know, as everybody does, they get to a point where you start learning that a good work-life balance is very important. And so I thought to myself, well, I need to start getting back into some sort of active lifestyle. And you know, I remembered bicycling with my brother and with the UC Davis triathlon team. So I thought, well, why don't I pick that back up? And it started very humble beginnings. You know, I was just bicycling 2 or 3 times a week, you know, going out for a little like 10 or 12 mile ride. And in about a month's time, my brother was telling me that he was going for his 5th California Triple Crown double century. And that's just something out here in California where there's quite a number of double centuries that is hosted by the California Triple Crown. And if you do five of the double centuries within 1 year, and you also volunteer for an event, you get to join the 1,000 mile club. And so he was going for his 5th double century for the year. This was back in 2011. And he asked me if I'd like to join him on my first double century. And now I had only been back into bicycling for about a month and a half at this point, and we had 1 month to train. So I thought, well, why not? You know, I have my brother who can hold my hand, so to speak, on doing this, and so I ended up signing up. It was the Bass Lake Powerhouse double century in the Sierras, starting in Fresno, California. And yeah, it was really an epic first double century. I remember having a fever and being completely sick because I had recently had my wisdom teeth pulled out, and they just started flaring up that week when I was supposed to ride. But long story short, you know, God really gave me the strength, and He miraculously healed me. I remember as we were starting our first climb up the Sierras, and the rest is kind of history. Now I'm in my 4th year of ultra cycling, and been really loving it for my own personal reasons, but more than that, also just for the platform and the opportunity that I have in doing this to inspire other people to reach their full potential.
And what event did you use to qualify for the Race Across America?
Yeah, so I guess my qualification was a little non-traditional because if you look on the Race Across America website, there are a number of events. Now, I was already planning to do some of them, for example, the Northern California RAAM Challenge and the World Time Trial, 24-hour time trial. I think that's in November. But I actually just across America in the RAAM route this past July. I did a symbolic 21-day fundraising event, raising awareness and funds for human trafficking. And I was actually supporting the A21 campaign. So I contacted the RAAM director and asked him if that would be enough to qualify. And sure enough, it was. And then I registered shortly after that. Okay,
and so now last year you did some things, and we want to get into the A21. I don't want to jump ahead here, but well, let's do this. Just tell me a little bit about A21, what that's all about, and how you got involved, and what some of your what propelled you into this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, A21 actually stands for Abolishing Injustice in the 21st Century. And it's derived from the name of the organization that I'm supporting, which is the A21 Campaign. Now, the A21 Campaign is an international nonprofit anti-human trafficking organization. and it was founded by Christine Kane. And they're a phenomenal organization that has offices on almost every continent around the globe. And their mission is really to combat human trafficking right now, which is, one of the big problems facing our world today. With close to 30 million people all around the globe that are enslaved, whether it's labor trafficking or sex trafficking. And the A21 campaign, they do a lot of work with prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnerships to try to solve this problem with other people. And, well, long story short for me, Lee, how I got involved with them, quite frankly, it was, an orchestration of God. For me, it was simply starting in 2014. I had just said a prayer, and I was talking to God, and I said, God, for this season of my life, you've allowed me to ride my bicycle, and I've been enjoying it. I'm entering my 4th year of ultra-distance cycling. But I'd like to do all of this for a greater cause than myself. And I was just wondering, God, how can I use ultra-distance cycling to mean more and to do more than just my own personal challenge or enjoyment, and so on and so forth. And needless to say, he answered my prayer, and he simply set a goal for me, which was to raise $100,000 to combat human trafficking. And it was only in mid-April of this year, in fact, that he had lined up all the stars and made me aware of the A21 campaign. And everything just came into alignment so perfectly that it was undeniable that this was what I had to do. And shortly after that, mid-April of 2014, I had about 2 months to prepare. And then I set off on July 4th of this year to do my 21-day symbolic ride across America, which was actually following the same route that the Race Across America traverses. With two exceptions, that I started in Costa Mesa, California, rather than Oceanside, and I ended in Washington, D.C. at the Lincoln Memorial, rather than in Annapolis, Maryland. And
on that ride, were you supported? Were you self-contained? How did that work for you?
Oh yeah, man. I was fortunate enough and blessed to have a 5-person support team, including my mom and dad. And I had 3 other friends, friends from my local church. And so in total there were 6 of us. I was riding that solo. And it was a huge success, and it was a great experience just being out there and riding the RAAM route, which gave me insight into what I would have to expect for riding RAAM, since this will be my rookie year riding RAAM. And I must say, it definitely is super wild out there, and nothing short of a challenge, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually.
Yeah, I'm interested in this because A is what motivates some of our people to be involved, particularly those who are involved in various charitable and fundraising and awareness parts of it. How that all connects in your mind as to the emotions and so forth that you have as you try to do this sort of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I'll start off by just saying that, there's a line in the Bible. It's a scripture, and it's my life scripture, and this is what I live by. And it simply says, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded." And that's how I kind of live my life, because I've been so blessed to have a supportive family, my mom, dad, brother, friends, local community, that have always been there over the years, even just with ultra-distance cycling. For example, my mom and dad have supported me on every one of the 22 double centuries that I've ridden over the last 4 years, and they have a wealth of experience. My brother has supported 2 Race Across America teams, and just this past June he was supporting a Race Across the West solo rider. So he has a wealth of experience and a passion as well for ultra-distance cycling. And so for me, it's just that I've been so blessed to have all these opportunities, that I have the financial means to have a bicycle, to ride my bicycle, and in light of all that, I could just get stuck at that and count my blessings and be grateful for that, or I could use the blessings that I've received to be a blessing to other people. And quite frankly, Lee, if it weren't for this God-given mission that I have, I'd probably spare myself a bit of agony in doing RAM. But I always tell people, when you're on a mission, it's really easy to be able to sign up for something like the Race Across America, because in my mind and in my heart, there's a greater purpose in all that I'm doing.
Very good. And let me interrupt here to say I do see we have some live viewers. As I have told people on the various social media, we're doing the show a little different this year. We're not actually promoting the live show, but it is actually live on YouTube. And if you would, if you're viewing out there at the present time and you'd like to come in and ask Justin a question or talk to him, or just find out a little more about what the Race Across America is all about, if you're at the OhioRAAMShow.com website, well, you can't be because I don't have it loaded up there, so you must be on YouTube. So if you'll go, close up your YouTube, and go to OhioRAAMShow.com, let me put that up for you, so you can see it, OhioRAAMShow.com, and once you get there, on the upper part of the screen, you're going to see a tab, Join the Show. You click on that. If you're a member of Google+, you will be able to come in. You might have to download a plug-in to get in. If you're not a member of Google+, you can sign up right on the spot. Again, you might have to download the plug-in, but come on in. If you're out there, I see we have at least 2 viewers. Well, yeah, we got more than that coming in here. So come on in and talk to Justin. I'm sure he'd be glad to talk with you. Now, Justin, let's get back to this human trafficking thing a little bit. As I told you before we started, our church has been involved in it somewhat. Not me directly. I've been involved in some other programs so much. But I'd like to learn a little more about it. And I understand that this is not a problem that is... how should I'm going to come up with a triple negative here if I'm not careful. Let's say it. This problem exists in the United States as well, does it not?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that really catches people off guard, that a lot of people have an idea that human trafficking exists and modern-day slavery is still prevalent. But what they don't realize is that it's closer than one might think, that even here in our backyard, even here in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is actually quite a big hub for human trafficking, simply given the size of the economy and the opportunities for traffickers. So it's very much a real thing even here in the United States of America, which is definitely a shocking thing. It's unbelievable, but it's not unstoppable. And that's why I've just been so encouraged as I myself have gotten involved with the whole movement to end human trafficking, that there are a lot of organizations, individuals, even politicians like Hillary Clinton, even here in San Jose where I live, the Santa Clara County Supervisor Cindy Chavez just recently put together a human trafficking commission for our county out here in San Jose. And so people are definitely working the problem. And I honestly believe that it's just a matter of time before we're able to take care of this problem. No different than in Abraham Lincoln's times, when they were faced with a similar problem. So we definitely are making history, and it is a big problem, and it's very real. And one of the keys is simply raising awareness so that more people could understand that even here in the USA, it is a problem. And that's one of my goals in continuing with my A21 Across America campaign. And my prayer is that in racing RAM, that I'll have the opportunity to be able to just shed light on this issue so that more people could play their part in it.
Well, I put up on the screen, Justin, your website, A21AcrossAmerica.com. Right. And for those of you who see the show, you won't have to try to remember that, because in the show notes, which will be at OhioRAAMShow.com, there'll be a link to this site, along with a link to Justin's Facebook page, and another link to this, what is it here, whatextent.com. I didn't tell me what that's about, Justin.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Project What Extent is, something that I started. It was really a vision that God had given me with this whole thing. And my campaign, the A21 Across America, is simply one small piece of the puzzle. And to put it shortly, in doing my cross country trip this past July and continuing on the journey with Race Across America in 2015. God has given me a heart for two things. The first thing is building community, and the second thing is empowering people. Because I'm a living example of that. That because of the community that has surrounded me and supported me, and with the people that have empowered me, that's the primary reason why I'm able to even um, do the Race Across America. And I'm simply trying to inspire others with the opportunity to be able to chase their own dreams and chase whatever is their heart's beat for. Because, not everybody may bicycle 3,000 miles across America, but I firmly believe that everybody can travel 3,000 miles across their own dreams, their own passions, their own talents, and their experiences. That I feel that in the greater scheme of just your own life, but even as it relates to human trafficking or whatever cause you might be passionate about, that we can all play a crucial role. We can all play our part because we all have individual gifts and talents that other people may not have, and we are all a necessary piece of the puzzle. And it's simply that, hey, you all have talents and passions. Your heart beats for certain things, but the question is, what extent will you go with them? And my life and my journey to the Race Across America 2015 is simply trying to set an example for that. That it could have been anything else. It could have been ultra endurance running, or it could have been being a teacher, or it could be the software engineer that I am. That this is the extent that I'm willing to go to secure freedom for our world, and just to be able to show other people that you can do your part too, and you can reach your full potential. You can achieve your dreams and your passions. And I simply want to give other people that opportunity by encouraging them, by building a community around them and empowering them. So if you go to my website right now, whatextent.com, you'll see some promotional videos that we had made prior to my July cross-country trip. And you can kind of see the heart behind the matter. It's simply that, every person on there, the videos, there's one about wrestling. I have a friend that he's, working toward getting into the 2016 Olympics, and he's hoping to wrestle there. I have another friend who's trying to make inroads into professional baseball. Another friend, great soccer player. Even in a total separate category, I have friends that are passionate about music, and that's the extent that they're willing to go in order to shine a light into this world. And so a lot more work will be done with that, just even in my local community and my circle of friends, just trying to inspire them to give their best and to be able to ride their race.
Okay, and those websites, again, will be on the show notes of the show, which you can find on OhioRAAMShow.com. You see the link there, and I'll have those all on the show notes. So that's the only link you need to remember, that you can get his A21 site as well as the What Extent site. It'll all be there, along with a nice photograph of Justin to enhance it all. Justin, back to the race itself.
Yeah.
How's your crew developing? What's your crew going to look like?
Yeah, definitely. Very great question. And after doing my 21-day ride across America this past July, I definitely know how critical it is to have a support team. And not just any support team, but you really have to have a very efficient, very dedicated, self-driven team. And I can only imagine with the Race Across America, just a different level of intensity, that it becomes even more important to be very efficient from start to finish. So for me right now, still in the early stages of all the planning, and I definitely have some ideas of who will be on the final team. And I'm definitely hoping to include my mom and dad again, simply because, well, what better way to do my rookie Race Across America ride than with my parents. And but more than just them being my parents, they also have just a ton of experience, like I touched on earlier. And after doing this 21-day trip across America, they've really got supporting ultra distance bicycling down to a science. And so a lot of that is still in the making, but I know how critical it is to have a superstar team.
Yeah, well, as someone said on the show here last year, a team can't make it for you, but they can break it for you. And I think, as an observer for many years, that's true. Let me interrupt just once again to give you some other websites that I always like to highlight on the show. And again, you don't have to remember these, because if you'll look on the website, OhioRAAMShow.com, you'll see links to all these. OhioRAAM.org, that's the website for our two time stations here. The RaceAcrossAmerica.org, that's the official website of the race itself. And I always like to say that the Ohio Ram Show is not officially connected with the Race Across America. This is something we do on our own. And I know that the Boathlings are always happy to hear the fact that I'm not saddling them with anything that goes on here. But they do a great job, and we just want to highlight that. The other site is ultraracenews.com. It is an online magazine run by John Foote, which has just about anything you want to know about ultra racing, what has happened, what's going to happen. There's articles on there about nutrition, organization, equipment, training, a place where you can ask questions of experienced people. It's just one great site, and we highlight those. But again, you don't have to remember those because those are all, you'll find all those links on the OhioRAAMShow.com. Justin, we're really glad to have you here this afternoon, and we only hope that you soon make up your mind whether you're going to be a South African or a citizen. Well, you are a citizen of the United States, but whose flag you're going to race under. But we have enjoyed talking to you, and we appreciate you informing us on this whole issue of human trafficking, because quite frankly, I haven't been that much up on the issue, and we're glad for your commitment, your passion. I think that's very important, and the connection between this passion for ultra sports and these causes is something that I see growing in our understanding. Thank you for being with us.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Lee. Really appreciate it, and look forward to talking with you more and with the rest of the cycling community as we continue on the road to RAAM 2015. I'm so excited to be able to meet everyone else and all the other ultra cyclists out there.
Well, we try to give people a platform here to tell what they're trying to accomplish and do, and we've been growing in our audience pretty dramatically, as a matter of fact. I'm kind of surprised, but we're glad to have you with us here. Now, as we round this show up, again, we'll put up the website, OhioRAAMShow.com, and say to you that coming up in the future, next, I think, and we're going to be a little out of sync because we're recording now more than doing the live shows, and we're not releasing the show until about a week for each one. But next week, we'll be having an all-Danish show with some of the past Danes who have been on the show. Now, if there's any people from Denmark out there, and many of my viewers are from Denmark, if you haven't been asked to be on the show, don't worry. You're going to have plenty of opportunity. It's just the fact that I rounded up this group for next week, and Denmark is producing a tremendous amount of riders, and we're going to have an all-Danes show. Maybe we can find out why so many Danes are interested in ultracycling these days. And then we're going to have Wayne Kurtz on. He comes to us from Pennsylvania, and he has written a book on his experience in ultra sports, and we'll be talking to him a little later on. We're going to have one of the Australian teams on very shortly. So you'll see a lot coming on. If you'd like to have information as to when a show has been published and can be viewed, just go to the OhioRAAMShow.com website, and you'll see a place there where you can put your email address in, and you will get information on each show as it is published. So you will not miss any shows. We won't sell those emails or use them for any other purpose. Also, there's a place where you can leave your comments, your thoughts, your ideas. Please do that. And you can help the sport of ultracycling by giving us a +1 on Google+, where you see our posts, or a like on Facebook, a share, a comment. Anything you do like that makes the show more visible to others. You know how these things work. The more comments and likes you get, the more likely somebody else is to see it, which helps my ego, of course, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is to make this sport known, and there have been people who never heard of ultracycling, never heard of the Race Across America, who have become aware of it through the show, and you can help with that. We appreciate that a great deal. Justin, again, thank you for being with us. And,
thank you for having me, Lee.
We wish you well. Do your training, and we'll be seeing you here in Ohio as you pass through.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for having me, Lee.
And thank all of you for watching. We are thankful for all those who are watching live out there. We appreciate that. Although we don't promote the live show, we still have viewers, and we're glad to have you with us. So we'll be seeing you very soon with another show. And thank you, and good night.